Hello there! Welcome back and Happy New Year! My name is Audrey Wilson and welcome to my fantasy world. I do owe you an apology for the impromptu hiatus. I am very sorry about that because I bit off more than I could chew and I should have known better, but yeah. So there's going to be a bit of a new schedule. I'll get to that in a minute. I also had some technical issues going on. I'm in the process of either getting new equipment or fixing what I have and then getting new equipment and maybe upgrading. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm trying to fix the issues that I have first. This particular video will be a little bit different. As I said, I've had some technical issues between school, work, and all the holidays and stuff. It's been kind of busy, so I didn't really have a lot of time to do a lot of research for this one. So this is going to be a little bit different and maybe an introduction to something new, which will be very exciting. I'm going to be doing readings today, and I'll get into what all that will entail in a little bit. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely let me know if you like the reading content. If you submit things to my writing workshop, which I call Silly Stories on my website, audreybwilson.com, you may be featured right here on this channel by me reading your work to the world. So I hope you enjoy. Definitely check out audreybwilson.com and go to the Silly Stories tab to get this month's prompt. Alright, so before I get into today's topic, let me go over the new schedule and why it's changing. So originally my plan was to have a video out on Fridays and a blog out on Mondays, and this would alternate weeks. I soon realized that that wasn't going to work because the video and the blog were a little too close together. So now everything will come out on Fridays. So this week, of course, is a video, and then next week will be a blog. So definitely check out audreybwilson.com for a new blog, and I'll give you a little preview to what that will entail at the end of the video. So now on to today's topic. So for me, the new year has always been about renewal and the excitement and joy of starting a new year. I know that this feeling usually is part of spring, but I feel more renewed at the beginning of the year than I do in springtime. I'm not sure what my problem is there, but you know, this is my channel, my rules, right? At least for now. So today I'm going to be reading some poems from one of my favorite poets of all time, and the poet that got me into poetry really in the first place. The thing is, before my senior year of high school, I hated poetry. I hated interpreting it in class. I hated reading it. I didn't mind writing it. That was never the issue. And when I had to read it and not evaluate it so hard, I was a little bit more interested because I could take it a little bit more face value. But I was definitely more into just stories in general. So poetry didn't usually have a feeling for me. I just kind of read it because I had to. This all changed when I first read a poem by this poet. And that poet is Robert Frost. And ever since, I have absolutely loved Robert Frost's poetry. That being said, I have definitely expanded beyond Robert Frost to enjoy other poetry. So I definitely got a better feel for what poetry was and felt like, and it actually brought me to liking epic poetry. So I definitely have Robert Frost to thank, and his was an introductory for me to understand and just become excited for other poetry. And after I read the poem, I'm going to explain why I like it. Please definitely leave a comment below to tell me whether you like that poem and what other poems and poets you like. I would love to hear from you. To the Thawing Wind. Come with rain, O loud southwester, bring the singer, bring the nester, give the buried flower a dream, make the settled snowbake steam. Find the brown beneath the white, whatever you do tonight. Bathe my window, make it flow, make it as the ice will go. Melt the glass and leave the sticks like a hermit's crucifix. Burst into my narrow stall, swing the picture on the wall, run the rattling pages o'er, scattering poems on the floor. Turn the poet out of door. I like this poem because it kind of reminds me that sometimes you just got to get outdoors and leave the indoors behind. I'm a bit of a homebody. I am an introvert, so I tend to spend a lot of time either alone or indoors. And this sort of poem kind of reminds me, go outside, have a little fun outside. It's okay. It gives me feelings of excitement and just excitement for what's to come, a little bit of joy. I kind of read it a little fast because I just get that feeling of excitement and that he's excited for winter to end. So I know for those of you in northern places, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, if you're getting towards the south, that I'm sure when it's winter time, you're ready for it to thaw and for it to go. I don't live in that kind of state. I have never lived in that kind of state yet, so we'll see how that goes in the next few years. But yeah, it just makes me really excited for new things to come. A hillside thaw. To think to know the country and not know the hillside on the day the sun lets go 10 million silver lizards out of snow. As often as I've seen it done before, I can't pretend to tell the way it's done. It looks as if some magic of the sun lifted the rug that bred them on the floor, and the light breaking on them made them run. But if I thought to stop the wet stampede and caught one silver lizard by the tail, and put my foot on one without avail, and threw myself wet-elbowed and wet-kneed in front of the 20 others wriggling speed, in the confusion of them all a glitter, and the birds that joined in the excited fun by doubling and redoubling song and twitter, I have no doubt I'd end by holding none. It takes the moon for this. The sun's a wizard, by all I tell, but so's the moon a witch. From the high west she makes a gentle cast, and suddenly, without a jerk or twitch, she has her spell on every single lizard. I fancied when I looked at 6 o'clock, the swarm still ran and scuttled just as fast. The moon was waiting for her chill effect. I looked at 9. The swarm has turned to rock. In every lifelike posture of the swarm, transfixed on mountain slopes almost erect, across each other and side by side they lay. The spell that so could hold them as they were was wrought through trees without a breath of storm, to make a leaf, if there had been one stir. It was the moon. She held them until day. One lizard at the end of every ray. The thought of my attempting such a stay. Now, this one kind of just makes me laugh. And yes, again, it's about spring, and again, that's usually when poets write about renewal, so bear with me. It is one of the longer poems that I enjoy, and it's funny because of I picture in my head this cartoon almost like from Fantasia, where all the music is put to animated pictures and stuff. Because I see, even though I know what it's actually talking about, it's talking about the thaw and all that and even he seems to think it's hilarious that he would even attempt to stop the snow from melting. Now, as I get to the last one that I'm going to read, I know it's going to be pretty cliche, but this is my favorite poem by Robert Frost. And it doesn't really match the whole Renewal thing, but it does give me feelings of joy. And part of that is because this was the first poem that I ever read that I actually enjoyed. And it was probably one of the most exciting feelings that I had, and in a roundabout way, gave me a feeling of renewal. Renewal in the fact that I was willing to finally give poetry a chance at that time. Again, high school was, oh gosh, high school was 11 years ago for me, so yeah, take that as you will. But this was my favorite, and still is my favorite poem of all time, The Road Not Taken. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth, then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So the reason I love this poem so much and why it spoke to me, even as a 16, 17, 18-year-old, around that time frame, the reason it has spoken to me and continues to speak to me is that it reminds me that every choice you make leads you to where you are today. No matter if it's a good choice or a bad choice. And even he says that he'll be telling this story with a sigh. And he doesn't say whether it's a good sigh or as in a disappointed, but he has said that it makes all the difference. And I find that, especially in tumultuous times, that it's important to stick with your values and what you intend, and whether other people understand it or not is not the point. It's about you. It's about what your path will lead to. If it leads to good, then great. If it leads to bad, then maybe rethink. But you can never go back. There's no going back in life. Next week's blog will be about redemption arcs. And I'm going to be really excited to do that. I love redemption arcs. So definitely check that out next week at audreybwilson.com/blog. And while you're on the website, you can sign up for my beta reading. You'll go to the Works in Progress under the Works tab, and you'll be directed to a place where you can sign up to be a beta reader for Unveiling the Facade. I am definitely excited for that. I want to get 10 people by mid-February so that I can start the beta reading process. But it will definitely help me out and get me published, hopefully this year. That's the goal, so definitely check that out while you're there. Don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter that goes out every first week of the month, and you'll get a little bit of a sneak peek and news, and soon there will be private content on my website for my subscribers. So definitely sign up for that. There should be some new stuff coming soon with that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You can also follow me on Twitter and Facebook, and all of the links to everything that I've just discussed will be in the description below. Until next time.